Good morning everyone. In today's class we will discuss regarding the design of dog-legged staircase in Module 4. I have taken a one design problem here. So in the design one of the flights of a dog-legged stairs spanning between landing beams using the following data. He given some data. So in the data initially he mentioned type of staircase. So as he defined initially, the given staircase, it is a dog-legged stair and it is having a waist slab. So in previous video I have explained the parts of the staircase. In that I have clearly explained what is waist slab, what is a thread and what is a riser. Okay, so for this staircase you should provide a waist slab along with threads and risers. And he given next a number of steps in the flight. So total number of steps is 10. Usually in the flight, that is single flight, we are giving 10 to 12 steps. So that is the maximum value for the flight. And after that he has mentioned the value of the thread. Thread he given it as 300 mm. Rise he given it as 150 mm. Along with that he given the width of landing beams. So that is 300 mm. Suppose if in the examination, if he not mention the thread value and riser value, you should consider it as 300 mm and 150 mm. And he mentioned the grade of the concrete, it is M20, along with a grade of the steel, it is Fe415, that is HYST bars. It is the given data. For this given data, we should design a dog-legged staircase. We will move to the solution now. Here I have drawn the diagram of the staircase. So in the problem he clearly mentioned that we should provide a 10 number of steps. Here I have provided a 10 number of steps, and rise he given it as 150 mm and thread he given it as 300 mm. I have shown it clearly in the diagram. Along with that he mentioned that we should provide a waist slab. Waist slab also I have marked it here. And also he mentioned that, so that is width of the landing beams. Width of the landing beam he given it as 300 mm. So that 300 mm I have mentioned it here. Here also 300 mm and this one is also a 300 mm. So this one we are calling it as width of landing beams. Along with that we are having a landing slab. So landing slab also I have marked it. So now we'll go for the design of this dog-legged staircase. So in the design of dog-legged staircase, initially in the first solution, for first step it is for the calculation of the effective span. We need to calculate the effective span. Now I will calculate the effective span. Just see. So for the effective span, once again I will write effective span. That is equal to, so just see, so where to where we should measure the effective span. So I will mark it in the diagram, the effective span. It is nothing but, we know that from the center of the support it is nothing but a beam. Okay, so this one I will take a center of support and this is also a center of support. I will consider these two distances. So from here to here, okay, center of another one support, we are calling it as a effective span. See that diagram, and I need to calculate the effective span. So for that what I will do, I will just write by using this diagram. So initially we are having a 10 steps. For that 10 steps we are taking a thread distance, it is 300. So that you will get this distance between the supports, you can get that distance, nothing but a clear span. You are getting it as 10 into 300. And after that we are having half of width of support this side, half of width of support this side. Nothing but I will add a one width. Okay, so 10 into 300 plus 300, that is equal to, we are getting, if we add this one, we are getting it as 3300 mm. Nothing but I need to convert that to meter. So nothing but it is 3.3 meter. Okay, so this is the calculation of the effective span. And next I need to calculate the thickness of the waist slab. Okay, thickness of waist slab. that is equal to, so thickness of waste slab, usually we are using the equation that is the span by 20, that is equal to span just now we have calculated, that is nothing but 3300. I have taken it in terms of mm, 3300 divided by 20, so that is equal to, we have got it as 165 mm thickness of the waste slab. So I need to take the overall depth of waste slab. So adopt overall depth, that is I will consider it as capital letter D. D it is equal to 165 mm. I have taken it as 165 mm. And next I need to take the effective depth. So in the effective depth I just taken some cover in the overall depth. So I will get the effective depth value. Effective depth, that is equal to, here I will consider a 25 mm as a cover. If you leave 25 mm as a cover in the overall depth, you will get a small letter d. Effective depth, it is nothing but small letter d. Small letter d value, it is 140 mm. Okay, so that is the effective depth. I will mention all that values in the diagram. Just see. So we have calculated already the effective span 3300. Here I will mention that value 3300 mm. And we have calculated the overall depth as well as effective depth. So overall depth of the slab we have considered it as 165. Here I will mention that 165 mm. And so we have considered a effective depth, it is 140 mm. And also waste slab thickness we have considered. Waste slab thickness I will give it as same as the thickness of the slab, nothing but 165 mm. Okay, so this is the given value we have calculated. So next in the second step I need to calculate the loads, the total loads coming on the slab. So in that initially I will consider the dead load, later we will take the live load. So in the dead load I will consider dead loads of slab, on slope. So I have taken this one, it is WS, initially dead load of the slab on the slope. So this slab, it is having a dead load, that is nothing but a self weight on this slope. Okay, and also we are having a waste slab here, that is also having some self weight. We should consider that dead load of the slab on the slope, and notation I have given it as WS. So that is equal to, we know that how to calculate the dead load, otherwise self weight, nothing but area into unit weight. So area slab, it is usually having a rectangular in shape, and we know that slab area, so breadth into width, area it is nothing but breadth into width, breadth and width we have considered it now. So 0.165 into 1, just see. So 165 mm it is there, nothing but 0.165 meter, and so this width we have considered it as a 1 meter, nothing but 1000 mm. Okay, so here this is nothing but area, self weight it is nothing but area into unit weight. So area we have considered, unit weight it is 25, we have used many times. So therefore the value of WS it is equal to 4.125, and this one we have calculated for the per meter width, that's why here also we have taken the 1. So 1 in nothing but 1 meter, and unit I will write it as kilonewton per meter. Load usually it is having a unit of kilonewton. We have taken it for the per meter width, so that's why I have given it as kilonewton per width. And next same, so we need to calculate the dead load of slab and horizontal span. So initially we have calculated the, that is dead load for the slope. So just see this one. So for this slope, how much dead load it will acted by the slab we have calculated. Next I need to calculate for this horizontal span, how much dead load it is there for the slab on this horizontal span. So we have considered this formula, W is equal to WS into square root of R square plus T square divided by T. So using this formula, we need to calculate the value of W. W, it is nothing but dead load of slab on the horizontal span. And if we substitute and we have calculated the value, W we have got it as 4.61 kilonewton per meter. So that is the dead load of slab on the horizontal span. So next we need to calculate a dead load of one step. So see, here we have considered the slab self weight on the slope as well as on the horizontal we have considered, and we have not considered this steps. So now I will consider the self weight of this steps. So dead load of the one step I will consider. So that is nothing but, so dead load, we know that dead load nothing but a self weight. How to calculate? That is nothing but area into unit weight. So area for the steps, it is usually in the triangular shape. So I will consider half into area of the triangle, it is nothing but half into breadth into width. So half, that is into thread I will consider it as a horizontal width. So thread usually we are having 300 mm, nothing but 0.3, and rise I will consider here, that is nothing but a 0.15. It is nothing but area of the one step into, I will consider the unit weight. Unit weight, it is 25. So I have considered here, and if you calculate this value, you have got it as 0.56 kilonewton per meter. So this is the dead load of one step. We have considered it for the one step. Now I will consider it for the per meter length. So load of steps per meter length, that is equal to, how to calculate this one? So I will calculate for the one step value, that is 0.56, it is there, and into, so I will multiply by 1000. This is for, I need to calculate for per meter length. So I have multiplied 1000 divided by one thread width, it is 300. So I will use that 300 now. So we need in terms of kilonewton per meter. 0.56 I have substituted in terms of kilonewton per meter. So here this value you should consider it in terms of meter also. So I will consider it as 0.3, and this also I will consider it in terms of meter, that is nothing but 1. So I will get it as a per meter length width, it is 1.86 kilonewton per meter. So next I need to calculate the finishes. We have given some finishes, so don't neglect that weight. It is also having some self weight. So I will assume it as 0.53 kilonewton per meter. So in the examination also you can assume this finishes value, it is 0.53. If it is mentioned in the problem, then you can consider that value. If it is not mentioned, then you can take it as a 0.53 kilonewton per meter. And next I need to calculate the total dead load. So total dead load, I just add all the dead loads what we have calculated up to that. Initially I am having a dead load, that is for the slope. Okay, so we are having that it is 4.61 plus, and next we have calculated the dead load of 1.86, that is that will coming from the steps per meter length we have considered, and plus finishes we have considered it as 0.53. If we add all the loads, we have got it as 7 kilonewton per meter. This is the total dead load we have calculated. And next I need to calculate the service live load. So after that dead load, we will consider another load, nothing but a live load. Otherwise we can call it as a service live load. I need to calculate this service live load, that is nothing but, I will consider it for the condition of overcrowding. For that overcrowding, usually we will assume that it is 5 kilonewton per meter. So it is a changing load, moving load, that's why we have assumed this value. We can't calculate this one. And next, therefore, so total service load that will coming on the flight, I need to calculate now total service load. So that means I will add a dead load and live load now. Okay, so dead load we have calculated it as 7 plus live load we have calculated it as 5. If we add, we have got it as 12 kilonewton per meter. and it is a limit state method. So wherever you can go, you should use the factored load, nothing but a designed load. I need to calculate the factored load, that is equal to WU, that is equal to, so for the calculated total service load, I just multiply the 1.5 factor of safety. So 1.5 into 12, we have got it as 18 kilonewton per meter. So that is the factored load we have calculated. So in the third step, we will calculate the bending moments. So in the first step, we have calculated the effective span. In the second step, we have calculated the total load coming on the slab. So nothing but we have calculated the factored load. And next job it is, we need to calculate the bending moments. So for that bending moment, we need to calculate the maximum bending moment. Usually maximum bending moment, it will occur at the center compared to the so suppose the maximum bending moment, it will occur at the center of the span. We know that the equation M, it is equal to 0.125 WU L square. So otherwise we have used this equation, it is nothing but WU L square by 8. So if you substitute the value of all these W and L, you have calculated it already, 0.125. WU, it is 18 into span you have calculated, nothing but effective span 3300 mm it is there. I will convert that to meter, 3.3 square. So therefore M, it is equal to, if we calculate, we have got the value, it is 24.5 kilonewton meter. All the units are in terms of kilonewton and meter, so I have substituted in terms of kilonewton and meter only. So next I need to calculate the check for depth of waste slab. Already we have calculated the waste slab depth. So that is 165 mm we have provided. I need to check that one, is it correct or not. So for that I have used the formula. So moment formula we have used it here. I have taken a D on the left hand side. D, it is equal to square root of mu divided by 0.138 FCK into B. And I have substituted the values. Mu just now we have calculated. I have substituted in terms of Newton millimeter. 0.138. FCK, it is given in the problem 20. And breadth we have considered it for the 1 meter width. So I have substituted it as 1000 mm. And if we solve this equation, we have got the D value, it is nothing but 94.2 mm, and it is less than what we have provided. We have provided it as 140 mm, small letter d. So it is less than this value, so 140 mm. Hence our design, it is safe. Hence our design, it is safe. So next, in the sixth step, we need to calculate the main reinforcement. We are having two types of reinforcement. One, it is main, and another one, it is a distribution reinforcement. So in the main reinforcement, for calculating the steel, here we should calculate the steel as well as the number of bars with required diameter. And for calculating this area of the steel, we are using as usual equation of the moment. So this moment equation, it is available in page number 96 of IS 456. So you can go through that IS 456. Mu, it is equal to 0.87 Fy AST into D into 1 minus AST Fy by BD into FCK. So this equation we have used in many times. So in this equation, I will substitute all the values in terms of Newton and in terms of millimeter. If we substitute all these values, we have got the value of AST, it is equal to, if we solve the equation, AST value we have got it as 530 mm square. AST value we have got it as 530 mm square. And for this area of steel, we need to calculate the number of bars. So I will assume it is a main reinforcement. For the main reinforcement, normally we will assume a larger diameter bars compared to the distribution steel. Here I will provide 12 mm diameter bars. Provide 12 mm diameter. Later we will check is it safe or not. So let will assume a 12 mm diameter bars. And I will take a center span, it is center to center distance, it is 200 mm. 200 mm centers. So this is our assumption, 12 mm diameter bars at 200 mm centers, and let me check is it safe or not. So what I will do, I will calculate AST provided. AST provided. So this value, it is nothing but AST required. So we need this amount of steel. And how much we have provided, let we check. 12 mm diameter we have provided and 200 mm centers we have given. Okay, so AST provided we need to calculate. So for the calculation of AST provided, initially we need to calculate the each bar area. So pi by 4 into d square, if we calculate that one, we'll get a sum value. So divided by center distance, if you do that calculation, you will get a AST provided. So I have got AST provided here, it is directly I will write that value. We have solved many times in the first and second module. Same procedure you can adopt it here for the calculation of AST provided. We have got it as 565 mm square. So see how much required, 530 mm square we required, and we have provided the 565 mm square. So it is more than that value, hence our design it is safe. So after that we need to calculate the distribution steel. So now I will go for the distribution steel here. Compared to the main reinforcement, distribution steel should be having a lesser diameter bars. So distribution steel, to give the support for the main reinforcement, we have provided the distribution steel here. Distribution reinforcement, so DR it is nothing but distribution reinforcement. Usually we can calculate by using the formula 0.12 percentage of cross section. 0.12 percentage of the cross section. So that is equal to 0.12 means percentage it is there, 0.12 divided by 100. So to remove the percentage I have used the 100. So into cross section of the area. So slab cross section area I will consider it here. That is 1000 into 165 mm. So that is equal to, we have got it as this value, it is 198 mm square. So this is the area of the steel in the distribution reinforcement. Compared to main reinforcement, the diameter should be less. Here I will assume 8 mm dia, provide 8 mm dia bars, and spacing I will consider same as the main reinforcement at 200 mm centers. At 200 mm centers. And if you calculate the AST provided, you have got it as 251 mm square. So this is a provided value, and this one it is a required value. So compared to required, a provided value it is more. So hence our design it is safe. So our design it is over now. So I need to represent that reinforcement in the diagram. Here